Let's talk about your house this morning and how to get the most out of it when you hit your senior years. This is Nathan Guerrero with Mortgage South. Happy to have him back on the show. Great to see you.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
And happy anniversary, 40
years.
years.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we're celebrating 40 years, which is an incredible feat in the mortgage industry in particular. Most people remember 2008 and 2009. So anybody that made it through that, right, I think it shows a real sense of durability, stability, ability to adapt, and we've certainly encompassed all of that.
Yeah. So usually when we're talking mortgages here on 3+U, very often it's focused on young home buyers, first-time home buyers. We're talking in a totally different perspective. At Mortgage South, you really focus exclusively on reverse mortgages, but you've been doing it for a long time.
That's correct. We actually did the first reverse mortgage in the state of Tennessee back in 1993. Since then, we've done probably 3,000 of these loans, and so we're kind of experts in this field.
Okay, let's talk about that expertise before we kind of get into the weeds of how this can benefit you. You've once again been on the forefront. You were this innovative pusher to get the state legislature to pass a new law, right?
Yes, it's called the Tennessee Reverse Mortgage Innovation Act. So myself, along with my colleagues with the Tennessee Mortgage Bankers, realized that there was an issue because prior to that we can only do one type of reverse mortgage in the state. Our surrounding states had other opportunities for seniors to be able to fully leverage more of their equity in retirement, because the more resources that they have, I mean, let's face it, about 20% of the people in this country have a pension. The median retirement, investment account is somewhere around $80,000 to $120,000, which is you depends on where you look at that information. Okay.
The median retirement savings.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's not a lot of money, and then there's a lot of people that don't have anything. Right, but a lot of people do own their homes, and if they can leverage those to make their retirement a dignified retirement, that's important.
Okay, so you mentioned the words dignified retirement. In the past, until this act, I guess, was passed, the only type of reverse mortgage you could get was an FHA.
Exactly.
That has some kind of limitations on it?
Yeah, it does. I mean, you just imagine that we're at the full bend of FHA on everything. So, they have reduced our lending limits over time. Some of the guidelines are onerous on the borrowers to be able to qualify. Like we couldn't pay off their debts to make them qualify. Well, with a lot of these products we can. So there's just different guidelines that we can open up some more funds. So it's not going to, the FHA loan is going to be the solution a lot of the times, but we do have other options, and that's the most critical part because people need those options now more than ever.
So you probably see this every day at work where people come in, they talk to you, and they're a little bit skeptical because you always hear your home is your greatest asset in that financial portfolio, and then here we are, to use your words, leveraging it. So explain how it works.
So reverse mortgage is designed for folks that are at or near retirement, and they say, okay, the biggest part or a large part of my net worth is my home and the equity that I have in it. So if I want to be able to tap that equity to unlock it so that I can use those funds during retirement, and at the same time not have a required monthly mortgage payment as long as I live in the home. Now it becomes due if you ever sell it, or if you pass, it'll go to your estate, and they have a time period that they can sell it, pay it off, keep the difference, or just keep the property, so that you remain owner the entire time. Okay. However, just being able to use that instead of living totally untapped, especially if we have the loss of a spouse, if we have an illness, if a retirement account all of the sudden goes down faster than we think it's going to be.
Maybe you're invested in stocks and it tanks.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. Maybe we deal with a identity theft issue and we lose money. That happens all the time. So now we have a resource that we can utilize and say, okay, maybe I'm okay.
Okay, I like analogies and kind of scenarios. So I will tell you, coming up on August 4th, we're bringing you a special hour on aging. I have a panel of experts who will be here, and I have no doubt that part of that conversation will talk about the desire most Americans have of aging in place. They want to stay home. But if home is no longer safe for them or whatever, this is a way that they could also tap into that asset to make some improvements?
Yeah, they can make improvements, just totally stabilize their financial position, right? A lot of people, if they're surveyed, a lot of people do want to stay at home if they can. So this is a way to unlock a lot of that equity to allow people to stay home as long as they can. Now, sometimes it's not the best solution to stay at home forever, right?
Sure,
we do
sure.
need to go get care, and I'm not advocating for that. But for people to stay as long as they want and to kind of have that fulfilled for them, you know, that's also everybody's right.
Is it like a home equity line of credit or something where there's kind of a tiered
Yeah, you
payment?
can. It is. So you can typically how they're structured is you could open up this reverse mortgage line of credit. You pull out what you need when you need it.
Okay.
Now some of the newer loans that are involved, there it's more of a lump sum. But you know I could go into that on if somebody wants to talk about it. But
Okay, and then and then once they sell the house or their estate sells the house, whatever the original loan plus
interest
is paid up upon the sale.
Upon the sale, and then the rest of that equity goes to the client or the estate
Okay.
when they sell it.
This is why they've been doing it for 40 years. And it all began right here in Chattanooga.
Yes, it did.
Do you encourage people to come in and see you face to face over the phone?
That's what separates us. You know, if you don't want to deal with a pushy salesperson that's going to call you 15 and 20 times, and you know, I mean, that's just not who we are. So, you know, and a lot of times now people get on the internet, they check something and then they're just bombarded. That's not who we are.
Okay.
So you can make a phone call, have a consultation, and I'm going to leave it up to you to make that decision.
Well, then here's the phone number. You can see they're in North Georgia, Nashville, and Knoxville as well, but Chattanooga is their main one, 624-3878. There's your North Georgia number as well, online mortgage-south.com.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.